You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
I'm the man, and the man feels no pressure. I am the man that everyone fears.
You are now entering the vicious circle.
You are facing a fuel-injected suicide machine!
I'm the man. When I walk, the ground shakes. I am the master. I am the ruler of the world. They have been waiting below the surface. Shake the earth beneath the giants. Shake the earth beneath the giants.
Welcome to the vicious circle. Sid, how's your day going today?
Pretty good, Rob. How about how's your day going today?
Oh, it's a nice, relaxing day. It's like 2 days away from your election, and things are starting to kind of calm down a little. The lull before the
Right.
storm. So it's been a great day.
Well, now how you in Canada, the Canadians take the election? How's you act like maybe it's your election too? Do y'all feel the pressure and all the stuff going on there,
Oh,
like people here?
So sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, we do. I think a lot of people do because everybody looks to the U.S. You know, that's the big pillar.
Right.
So-
Well, you don't look to the U.S. You look up to the U.S. There's a big difference. No, I'm just kidding. No, I guarantee it's got to be crazy for y'all or y'all are looking down because you're up north, looking down here and just saying, man, what crazy this is going on. You know, I'm sometimes embarrassed about what people think about what's going on. You know.
It's been an interesting few years, but we're going to see in a couple days exactly how things will pan out for the next 4.
Well, I'm sort of glad you brought that up. This will get because we wing everything. To talk about what we've been talking about is the election of late. Just to tell everyone what a crappy job we do, but what a crappy job we've done by doing this. But again, we try to have fun with it. Again, it was just a prediction about the election. Even some of the things like when we were coming up with the flashcards with the Fitzgerald guy and the Tifa, the people from the Carolina to the right, and then the last little kids in the middle. Even that deal, Rob, took him to the last minute to get that. It wasn't really what we wanted. So we're sort of half-assed, not sort of, we are half-assed doing stuff on our end too. So it's sort of come across sort of half-assed, but this is the thing is we sort of we're just throwing out an opinion out there that we don't want people to take so serious and hate us about it. So that's what we're trying to do, have fun about it. But I'm gonna say right now, because I guess when this thing, and that's something too, I was talking to Rob, I forget about how these things air, and we're a couple weeks behind. So when this will air, the election will be over, right?
When this actually turns into a podcast, yeah.
Right. So that's what I keep forgetting. So when this is over, this airs, the election will be over, and Biden will be the new president, I guess.
The only people that get to hear this is the people watching live right now.
Right. And this is some too. Finding that out is that me and Rob was talking earlier. We already had a question from Lori about diet stuff. This is why I want to do this thing live, because I want the people to be able to interact and have something a little different than what I've seen being your normal podcast. And that's why I brought up some things like the food situation is just where people can see, because people ask me all the time, what do you eat and stuff like that. And then the music, brought up the music, and we found out Lori had already listened to some of the songs. I'm hoping other people will do the same. That's something I want to bring different to the podcast. So as long as we're acting on these things, I see that you're interested. I'll be interested in throwing them out there. Speaking of music, we lost someone this past week, Billy Joe Schaefer, one of the greatest Western musician, artist, songwriters, vocalists to come out of Texas. And for me, a lot of times, more times than not, I can just hear a guy's or lady's voice and hear a couple of lines, and I could tell you almost what state they're from sometime. Rob, I don't think you and I've gone through this, but I will start doing that with you too, where I can pick, almost where they're from, and they usually say. That's why it's not like I'm, a damn psychic or anything, but I can hear about a couple words or location, a certain riff or something like that. But Billy Joe Schaefer was great. You had Town Van Zant, Guy Clark, which was probably on each side of the coin for his folk singers coming out of Texas. Billy Joe Schaefer was right there as far as songwriting. He wrote a lot of stuff for Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings. I heard a deal on the Weevil the other day about him coming to Waylon Jennings for, I guess, in the first songs that he had written. There you go, Billy Joe Schaefer. What a cool guy, man. I want to think now. I heard a song the other day. It really had a heck of a line. It says, "The devil." Let's see. It says, "The devil made me do it the first time, and I did it the second." And you got to listen to this guy's songs. Now he's got one. I can't remember the title, but it should be a funeral song. But it's a really good uplifting funeral song. Maybe we'll find the title before we leave today. But definitely listen to one of his songs, everyone, this next week, and we'll talk about that and see what you said. But Lori had said she heard a couple of the songs. If anyone else had taken the time to listen to any of those songs we talked about last week, please chime in. Let's see what you thought about them. If not, we're just going to do it again next week too. You guys aren't get off. You're not going to get off the hook that easy. Nope. Now, also on wrestling, I watched a little wrestling this week. I watched some of AEW and some of NXT and SmackDown, stuff like that. Through the show tonight, anyone talking about that, what they think? Real quick, what I saw, man, I forgot real quick how fast I forgot that how far the WWE is ahead of everyone else. And AEW is doing a good job of working hard and stuff like that. But when you look, it was a coincidence, and I don't know if they knew what was going on, but AEW had something on their show going on about something about their woman champion. This so happens she's Chinese, Japanese, Asian. And then I flicked over real quick to WWE, and they had the same thing going on, or same situation, talking about or shooting a angle or whatever about the women's championship on that deal. And it was just two different shows. Now, I mean, the WWE was like, whoa, cool. And AEW, man, just looked like what it was. Just what I said this a couple of weeks ago, I think, a glorified independent show. And we were saying that just because of some of the ways they're acting, it's starting to look more like that. Again, when it's that big of a difference. Now, what the difference is no fans, and WWE's taking the money to make that virtual, that, blah, 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 Thunderdome look. And then they're starting to catch up with what they don't have as fans. And their production is just outdoing the others really big, tenfold right now. So anyone else see that, or what they want to, their opinion about that? Let's talk about that as well. Or who made some? Now, I did see some things on AEW. Just they drug out some things, like that debate they had on there. It had a good ending, I thought, but the rest of it was, I'm sure a lot of people tuned off and watched something else when it was Jericho and that other kid doing some debate about something. But at the end of it, it did make a little sense to me. I don't know if it did it to everyone else, but it got boring. I'm sure they lost. That's what I'd like to know too, because we don't keep in touch with that, Rob, is what are the ratings for those two shows or the two companies when they're going head to head? If we find that out sometimes. And again, what do the people think about those two shows and the difference of the two shows, and what do they see the difference between the two shows, and let us know what they think on that too.
Yeah, I'll see what I can find for sure. I'm going to let John, it looks like John Dad know. Yeah, we can see your text. I just haven't had a chance to post anything yet. We're just getting going. So we can see them. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw some up real quick here because Jeremy says, hello, Rob and Sid. Nathan's always here. He says, hello. Gabriel said, this is going to be great. Ron Darling. He tagged someone else in it. So people are definitely watching. Oh, there's Rondell.
Hey,
Hello,
Rondell.
how was y'all's weekend? I like how he put y'all in there. That's cool.
Yeah, I like that too, man. Good, Rondell. How was your weekend? Did you, Rondell, did you get a chance to listen to any of those songs I told everyone about last week? Because you seem like you're a person that really cares. You're here every week. If you're not into music, I understand, but anyone that is into music, I still want to hear about that because I want to get a feedback on that. At least we got a little bit of some feedback from the first statement, the first text we got today from Lori. So
Yeah.
again, anyone hear anything about that, let me know.
And she did message too. I'll put it up here in a second. Val says, "Hey guys, at work again at MBS for the Atlanta United Soccer. Going to try and watch to the end."
All right, Val, thank you.
And where was it?
Get on your smartphone, listen to one of those songs, Val. Let me know how you think about it.
There's Lori. Hey guys, yes, I did listen to the songs. Lucinda Williams, John Prine, great stuff. And for those who haven't heard it, I would recommend the new AC/DC song, Shot in the Dark. They're using it for the upcoming WWE Survivor Series.
Good recommendation, Lori.
That is a good song.
I love AC/DC.
Oh, and there's Kyle too. Hey, Robin Sid from your buddy Kyle in Wisconsin.
Hey, Kyle.
So let's get down here. See if anybody actually commented yet on the songs. I don't see that yet. So what I'll do, I'm going to ask you that one question. Looks like Paul Diaz Barrio is the gentleman who asked it. Say, hey, Sid, I was wondering if you can answer something I've got problems wrapping my head around on a future episode of the podcast. I don't quite get the booking agreement to put somebody over. Some people have said, no, I'm not losing to that guy, and they don't get punished for it, but some do. My question is, what was the attitude towards wrestlers that said no to putting someone over?
Pretty much what you just sort of said, Paul. Some people usually, it didn't happen a lot. And this is one reason. For instance, like, and I'll give you an example that I remember when I first came into the WWF for the first time. That was the first time I seen anybody just line up to put people over. And the reason was because we all, at that time, everyone got paid on a percentage. So if this guy was the one, delegated to try to get over, sell tickets, everyone, did what they could do to make that happen. So that's why when the business was like that, like it was like that in all the territories in the beginning too, but still then you'd still have people on occasion not want to, do business with that's how they would say you don't want to do business. For the most part, people like that were treated, you remembered, and, the booker would remember you. If he had a chance, he would, put you on that whipping post. Sometimes, like I think you sort of mentioned that sometimes it seemed like it benefited people too. I think it would depend on the circumstance, but in whole, I think you should always just do business and do what you're asked of. I've said it like this before: is you don't want someone to come up to you and go, "Okay, Sid, well, it didn't get over because you didn't do what I asked you to do, and when you didn't do that, Disco Inferno didn't want to do what we want him to do because you weren't doing what you were supposed to do, and then they made the referee pout, and what I wanted a day off too, and all right, I should have just done the job, you know what I mean? So that's how it gets to that. So just do it, do right. And this is the thing I learned about: do what you're asked, and you might keep your job, and you might put yourself in a position of where they trust you and know that like they can make you the world champion, or they can put you in a spot where you can make money in a good spot. Just that alone, they could trust you to put you in a good spot.
Yeah, so I can see it being a lot of trust, because if they get you up to a certain elevation and then all of a sudden you turn and say, no, I'm not losing, it's like it throws everything out of whack.
Well, this is the thing, I don't want that pressure. If I'm the booker or the guy giving the finishes, and I know what the finish is going to be, 2 months, 1 month, 6 months down the road, I need all this to go as planned, so you don't want to take that out of that person's hand. And again, to me, it just made for an easier day at work. Show up. I've said this a million times. Show up, do what I'm asked to. Don't even look at the booking sheet. Just who am I working with? What's the finish? Take a shower, have a nice meal, fly to the next town, and live the dream.
So easy. So easy.
Yeah.
Rondell did message in. He goes, sorry, I was helping my aunt move and I didn't get a chance to. I'm definitely going to listen to them.
All right. Appreciate it, Rondell.
And then Andy here, he said, I actually watched both last night playing catch up. Halloween Havoc on NXT was interesting to see. Wonder what that means.
He was watching, I guess he's watching both shows on Wednesday night.
Yeah, but he said NXT was interesting to see. Is that good or bad?
Yeah, I know.
Andy,
Well, this thing, NXT to me is definitely their worst product. You know, but still that one thing I saw, you know, for just a, you know, as I was channel surfing, and it just for whatever reason AEW was doing identically the same thing with, you know, their woman champion, just you know, coincident or not, you know, being Oriental or Asian or whatever, you know, want to prefer, you know, say it about, but it just looked okay. Wow, that was cool looking. Where AEW was like, whoa, that's needs a little something.
Craig chimed in here, and this is about Laurie's comment. He goes, as an Aussie, I feel bad for not loving AC/DC. But he goes, Silverchair are my favorite Aussie band. I've never heard Silverchair.
No, I haven't either, Craig. Listen to something cool. Like, what about Dwight Yoakam, Purple Rain? Listen to that, Craig.
See, I forgot about that. I want to look that up because Prince is one of my people. I always go to just to sit back and listen. And to hear Dwight Yoakam's version of that would be very interesting.
It's really good.
Let me see here. Ron mentioned a question. Do you think Cody Hall has a future in the business?
Cody Hall.
Blank on that name.
I don't either. I don't know. Yeah. No, I don't know. Really, I don't know. I've heard of Cody Hall. I'm not sure where.
Cody Hall Taylor. He's not ringing a bell. I'll throw a picture up here. See if that rings it. Bing, bing, and here we go. That's Cody.
Oh, that's I'm sorry. That is Scott Hall's son. You know, I've not had the chance. You know, Cody was at my house for a few days when he was a little bitty kid. Hung out here for the weekend. We went to some shows and just had a lot of fun. But you know, I haven't ever had a chance to watch him work. I know he's going through what supposedly is a blueprint for getting in the business, and that's, you know, staying busy, and in a lot of ways, only way to do that really is to stay overseas. And last time I talked to Scott, that's what Cody was doing. He was working overseas a lot, staying busy. So I know he has a future. You know, the only thing is when I looked at him, that was actually second or third time I've actually seen a wrestling picture that Rob just pulled up. He looks like he needs to do something in the gym. He's really tall and thin. But I know he's got, you know, to have been in it as long as he has and be doing it the tough way, and that's overseas, scratching and, you know, making it. So I'd say he probably does.
And here's a question from Craig, and it's interesting. I've always wondered, how do wrestlers pay tax? Is tax taken before you guys get your pay, or do you save your money and then pay at the end of the year?
Well, some people pay at the end of the year. Myself, I paid quarterly. But that's how you pay yourself.
Yeah, because you were considered contract. You weren't considered employees.
Yeah. Right, independent contractors.
Right. Okay, and Lori's back. She goes, I'll jump in with my opinion. Clay Pigeon and Angel from Montgomery by John Prine are some of the best in my opinion. Another great song by him is called Paradise.
Yeah, Paradise is one of my favorite too, Lori. But no, those two are really good. That's the reason I picked out the one Angel from Montgomery, Lori. Thank you. Again, I said that's really again another woman's song and national anthem. You know, and two, we just always overlook women. I think a lot. They do work so hard. And this is again of a song of a woman just works hard tired of her boyfriend or her husband or man's just an old cow guy, just hanging around. But just a great song. And again, Clay Pitches is as well. Thanks, Lori.
Here's one from Val. Did you guys watch college football yesterday? I'm a Roll Tide fan.
Look, Val, I'm glad you brought that up. I was 4-0 yesterday. No one's actually mentioned that. Yeah, I picked Alabama. I think had to give up 17 or something like that. Won that one. The game I remember I told everyone the week before, take Arkansas. They won by 3. They lost, but the other team didn't cover it. And then the other one was Clemson. I picked because again they lost a quarterback. They barely won by 4. The spread was like 12 or something like that. And then, which I said the pick of the day, and later on in the evening, everybody on ESPN said this is the one Vegas missed, and that was the Michigan State, Michigan. I took Michigan State. I think I got 10 or something like that too, and they won by like 3 or so. So 4-0 last week.
That's really darn good.
Now, 2 guys, I called Rob and told him 2 of these. Now, I can't call Rob on every one of these and bug him all the time. But I told him, I told you the one about Michigan State early in the morning.
Yeah.
That was the for sure one. And then I said Clemson is the second for sure, what I feel safest about. And then Alabama. And then the fourth one was Arkansas. Already picked that one. So again, everyone, I don't pick, I'm looking at some of the games. I'm not picking on. I got a gut feel about some of them, but I'm not. These are the ones I feel really sure about. And I think last week I was 2 for 1 on the long shots, and then I was in the World Series I was 4 for 6. Actually 5 for 6. 5. No, it'd be 4 for 6. Then I was because I won 4 out of 6. So it was 4 and 2, and then I won the thing. So that was 5 and 2. I picked them to win. Same thing with the Lakers. So that's the only things I've lost. And this week I was a perfect 4-0.
Nice. Now, did you watch Halloween Havoc this week?
No, I didn't.
It's interesting. The one person here, Ron, said, I think the announcers are terrible for WWE. But Craig mentioned the ladies' Hell in a Cell was amazing. And that's,
everyone says the girls are really doing much better job than the guys.
Yeah, see, I've heard that too, that the female side of it has really picked up. There's actually female tag titles now too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's amazing. Here's a good question from Gabriel. Sid, what's your favorite NFL team?
Well, it's hard to root for an NFL team because they're so lazy. They never want to play all the time. And a couple of weeks ago, the deal with the Buffalo Bills. Now they didn't have a chance to win the game, but they had a chance to at least cover the point spread. And the guy Diggs, the wide receiver, gets a penalty call because he wouldn't get back across the line in time, and he knew exactly what was happening. That's why it's no fun to watch those guys play. Now the team I'm really rooting for, just because I like the fullback Derrick Henry, is I'm pulling for Tennessee. Now I believe Kansas City is going to win the Super Bowl.
That's the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm so bad. I don't follow football. Let me see here. Oh, here's a good question from Craig again. How pissed does The Office get when a crowd reaction does not go as planned, like yourself at Survivor Series 96 or Hogan versus Rocket Mania? It doesn't matter if the money is flowing in.
I think it used to matter back when that incident happened with me at Hogan, and then where they drowned it out a little bit. But I think now they welcome that because they see that that's the person's getting over. There's no sense of trying to rein them in. You're just reining in and stifling your ticket sales as well. So they finally got sort of smart to that.
Nathan has an interesting question. What did you think about the Aussie football player Jared Hine when he went over there to play American football?
You know, I saw a little bit of him. He just never really materialized. He looked like a great athlete, and things were, should have lined up. For some reason, they didn't. Well, I didn't see enough of him.
And John's got another wrestling question. Sid, when a new wrestlers come into the WWE, does the boss decide if they're going to be a big star or have a short career?
I'm sure they have a lot to do with it, but really, I would hope that the main deciding factor would be get them in front of a crowd and see what their chances are, because I know that they're not, again, swinging a lot of home runs in that area right now as far as picking talent to be the next big money draw. So either they're not doing a good job of that at their facility, or they just don't have enough people coming through that could fit that bill.
Have there ever been times where you've seen the company kind of push people down that the crowd likes?
You know what? Not really, like people said. Now, I heard it happen like the Ricky Steamboat. I'm trying to think.
I know sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say the only one that comes to mind is they tried to, sideline Savage in the WWE, and that's when he jumped to WCW and showed that.
No, that's not. I wouldn't say that would be true either, Rob. He got really great opportunities in the WWF when I was there, and after I left there, Rob, again, Randy, God bless his soul, he was a main event when he was with a main eventer. You know what I mean? But he wasn't main event by himself, so he did really well for a guy in that spot. Top spot, but not top. And I'm guessing what happened with him in WWF, and it was happening when I was there before I left, is he'd already had his run. And that's where I think Vince made a mistake with a lot of people, not knowing really where that run would run out, and maybe push him to the end of that too soon, because he thinks that he's right. And, again, that's where we've talked about, he's made a lot of bad calls when it comes to decision making like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, too, while Randy, and I don't know this, but I'm gonna guess, the reason Randy went there because he got guaranteed money, and the life is a whole lot better there.
Yeah, it was different.
You know what I
mean? Buddy of mine, Rob Thibodeau, he said, checked out that Prince cover you recommended. It was great, and he purchased it.
Wow. Now, you said Prince cover?
That's the Purple Rain.
Okay, cool.
That's the one I want to check out pretty bad.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a lot of good songs on that album, Swimming Pools and Movie Stars. But that's just, to me, it's just got great sound, great instrumental. He's a great singer, and this is bluegrass. This is something a little different for him too. That's what's cool about it. It's a little different.
Now, one of the other things Lori mentioned in the letter was about the food and the workout aspect of the show. And
right.
You had mentioned that you were just getting ready to start phase 2.
Right. And I'm glad she brought that up too, is that's something I want to be able to pass on to people, that I know this old stupid human body about as well as anyone does, and the diet and working outside of it. And I'm trying now to, go in my second stage of fitness, which my goal is to be the best I can look in a pair of jeans and a shirt and, a jacket if needed, whatever, just what I look the best I can look and feel. And that's what my goals. We have to set our goals for a goal that's obtainable. And to me, that's obtainable. So that's what I've been shooting for. Now I'm ready to go into the second phase of that. I've come off my diet for about a week, 2 weeks. Of course, everyone can see that, but I'm fixing to get back to the boring stuff Rob likes to, hound me about. But no, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make some big changes. Like I talk to people about diet all the time, is that you don't want to say quit everything at once. Meaning, if you're eating potato chips or whatever, I'm not saying keep eating them, but take one thing out at a time. Then your bread, then your salt, and it's going to get down. Like again, bread is going to get, for me, it'll get down to minimizing how much milk I drink, because milk has got as many sugars as even skim milk, because it's got as many sugars as a soda. So, and Rob knows this. We've talked about this all over the last few months. So I'll start making those adjustments, and then I'm hoping of doing that, I'll be able to get past this next 10 or 15 pounds of hard body fat to lose. And then at the same time, I'm really going to increase my workouts starting tomorrow. So again, if anyone wants to, if they're going through some of the same things, dieting or working out, and they need some advice or want to talk about it as well, that's, we want to talk about that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was the one thing you just mentioned there. And I didn't realize, I noticed in the pictures you sent me, I could see how you were trimming things down until you got to that, ideal meal.
Right.
Things were disappearing off the plate until it was always, and what I tease you about, kind of looking the same.
Right. And that's what we go back. Sorry to cut you off, Rob. But this is the thing is we pick up on things that sort of work for us. Now, I've been doing things like this for a long time. It's like preparing my meals enough at a time that I'd have enough to eat. And I have my meats, my fruits ready, my sweet potatoes, whatever the case would be. So this is what this guy named, what was his name? Kevin Anthony wrote a book called Why Am I So Fat? And it was whyamisofat.net. I don't think it's up there anymore. But he would counsel with you as well through texting and stuff if you looked at his diet. And he said this about it. He goes, when diet is so boring, just like Rob says, it's the same thing. It's a serving of cottage cheese, or it's just a chicken breast with some cabbage next to it, or squash and again chicken. That's what I fell to, and then some fish or whatever. That's boring. But in the diet world, if it's boring, you can probably reach out and touch perfect, meaning that everything's where it should be if your goal is to lose weight. Now, remember this too, everyone. We'll face things like this, and it's called peer pressure. I've had 2 or 3 of my friends talk to me. Just one today. She can't, ever stay on her diet. So I told her I was going to my second phase of diet. She goes, "Well, I said, I just want to look good in my clothes and blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Well, you're going to be anorexic." Well, people are going to say things like that because they're not losing the weight and they can't lose the weight. How much weight are you going to lose? How much more weight are you going to lose? Well, if I got 10 or 20 more pounds of fat to lose, why stop now, right? Because diet's going to be a lifestyle, and that's always been my lifestyle. But for majority of my life, in the past has been to consume 6,000 calories a day and try to grow. And unfortunately, that's a great way of building muscle, but that's just an acceleration towards death. So you want to slow down and eat better things. And cool thing about the body, everyone, almost everything in the human body is reversible. Means, if we were smokers, and this is doctors saying this, isn't me saying this. You can look it up yourselves. So far, I haven't misled anyone. So smoking, for example, if you quit smoking, they say within a short period of time, your lungs will go back to being, pink and, healthy. The same thing with blood pressure and all these other things. If we start exercising and change our diets, all these things go away. Not, like go away, but they can get better. In some instances, sometimes they do go away. So I don't want to mislead someone and think that, because you lose weight, you're not going to no longer have high blood pressure. But that's one way of combating it with a healthy diet. And then we got these diets out there like the keto diets and stuff like that people are, leaning towards, which, they're effective. But and I hear like this person told me today talking about that. She says that, she's eating cheeseburgers, stuff like that on the keto diet. And then I just recently saw a healthy keto diet on PBS. And I said, and I knew this, I knew this had to be true. And when I saw someone talk about it, actually was a doctor, that you don't have to eat cheeseburgers. It could be fish and vegetables. Again, it's eating healthy. That's what it comes down to. I'm not on a keto diet. If everyone looks at the food I'm eating, it's pretty healthy. Now, of late, it's been, good old country boy with blueberry cornbread and stuff like that. But the rest of it's been, pretty healthy.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the difference too. You're talking about people saying things and kind of prompting you. It depends on why you're losing the weight. If you're losing the weight because you think you need to be a certain way, that's different. But if you want to be a certain way, that's in your head, and you can overcome anything that way.
Right. So that's so too. Everybody's got to remember there's so much pressure, peer pressure, what I call it, in dieting. And I've told this story where, used to, I'd go in the store with the guys, other wrestlers, and they would be getting, ice cream and cookies and just all the stuff you want to get. And I'd get the bottle of water and, you know, thing of tuna or something stupid like a banana. And then at first I thought, man, they think I'm poor or something because I'm not getting anything. Because when we first in the wrestling business, we were not making any money. We'd only get and I was trying to diet too back then, but I would love to have, something else, on the road, but I'm really trying to save money, send money home. That wasn't the case. I was really trying to put it back. So again, I'm thinking these people think I'm poor or not spending money. So you even have those silly pressures that aren't even there. So don't worry about the pressures. Just get on your diet. Don't weigh too often, and then get in touch with me. I'll let you know what you're doing.
Well, it looks like we have to reach out to my buddy Rob because he says, I'm a chef. So if you need any tips, hit me up.
Appreciate it. I'll tell you one thing I did learn, Rob, this week cooking beans was this lady at the store. I actually made my wife and her mom some turnip greens and some fresh white beans. And lady at the store taught me in putting a smoked turkey breast in it, smoked turkey wing and leg. And I'm gonna tell you what, that made everything. And that does make a bean. Put like that smoked meat in or something like that. And that I learned that from a chef by putting smoked meat in your beans. It really gives a good taste.
Nice. Andy put in here, I never knew about milk. I never knew that about milk. Years ago, I switched to skim and lost 30 pounds on that. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper for someone who is on a budget.
Well, from my understanding, Andy, unless I'm wrong, even skim milk, there's as many sugars in skim milk there is in a soda. What they say, the difference between skim milk and whole milk, there's no fat. But the sugars, I think, are pretty much the same. And I could be wrong on that. But it's not like what we're thinking, 0 sugars. You know what I mean? And I've been told too many times that, I have not looked that up. But I know that it's pretty high. But again, that's, when I'm trying to lose weight, everyone thinks, Andy, you're going to be a smart ass and try to pick my diet apart. But this is what happens when I'm trying to lose weight. So this is the gauge I'm going by. And this is losing weight. This is gaining weight. So I'm trying to lose weight. Well, everything I can get to pull this way to lose weight is going to help me. So if I wake up in the morning, have oatmeal versus biscuits and gravy, that's going to pull this down. And down here, I got something else pulling. And that might be not drink so much milk. So if I do a bunch of those things through the day, I'm pulling that meter over towards losing weight. Andy.
See, there we go.
See what you know, man. Have you lost 50 pounds? Nah.
Well, he said, but I cut out snack cakes a few weeks ago. That's progress.
No, that is.
Yeah, that is.
That is. Way to go, Andy.
That's what it is. It's the little steps.
It is, Rob. You've been there with me. It's just one step at a time, taking one thing out at a time. And then really, I swear, you find out, you don't miss it until you put blueberry cornbread back in your life. And then fried chicken and fried pork chops. And man, it's going to be tough going back to that old squash and crap like that, man.
Yeah, I can see that. Rondell's got a quick question for you here. We touched on it briefly a couple times. Do wrestlers write their own promos or get help backstage? Or they just say what they feel?
Used to, Rondell, we said what we felt, and like myself and other people, like I know Bret Hart was pretty adamant, always had his stuff prepared, things that he could go to, like things he had read or prepared, he found in a book or something like that. We all did that. Or sometimes they would try to help you. But really the main way that you were able to say get over a promo or an interview was your ability to be able to do just that.
You need that. And like you said, that's the equivalent of running up to a line and stopping. I love that analogy.
Right.
Brandon has a question here. I know we did this for leg press, but what was your bench press max in your prime?
Bench press, about 485.
Holy crap. That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Really, I didn't have a great bench press. I had, good power cleans, good deadlift, squats, leg press, stuff like that. I actually had a pretty good seated shoulder press too, but bench press was just, I never was able to get 500 or anything like that.
Well, too, it's a different type of workout if you're going for sculpting as opposed to
Right.
just building strength.
And I just didn't have that muscle fiber that a lot of 500-600 pound bench press people had.
Yeah. Let me see here. Craig has got another one that's interesting. Sid, do you have any favorite item that you have saved from your wrestling days?
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff actually, Craig. I do.
You need to keep stuff like that. You don't need
Yeah.
all of it, but
Yeah.
and Dean is online. Hey guys, only just got on. How are we doing today?
Hey, Dean, how you doing? Shout out to Dean and that good kid of his.
Harry, if I
And
remember correctly.
Harry, the good old boy. And then let's give a shout out to the stupid guy out there in Sacramento, Eric Widgeon. What did he say? Haven't been creative lately. Have you done anything? Haven't seen anything from you, Eric, in a while. If you got something, send it to me. If not, shut your mouth, stupid.
There we go. Oh, darn it. I had a great question and the mouse moved. 1 second. I will find it very, very fast.
Yeah, Eric. Jeff called me. He said, up your nose with a rubber hose, and that you were a jerk, a shit-faced jerk.
Chad has this little words of wisdom, and it's actually very good. People who want to improve need to get over being uncomfortable. Losing body fat is no different.
That's it, man. You just got to not let people pressure you like that. Now, Eric is one of those people that do that to me as well. If I lose weight, well, your fans don't want to see you lose weight. Yeah. We need your hair color blonde. Yeah. Eric, won't you do your hair blonde or something like that? And by the way, go get a McRib sandwich. That's what you're really looking for.
Are they?
He loves McRibs, man. He is. I ain't shitting you, dude.
It's weird how they have a season. Every season, I'll get one just to have it.
Really? Yeah,
and then I'll buy another one till next time.
I've never had one and never plan to. It looks like a pure slab of gristle.
It's something. I don't know what it is, and I don't want to know what it is.
It's the same thing you had on your grill today.
Oh, that's cold. Those were hamburgers. Those were.
I know, yeah, sure. Well, did the U.S. cut y'all from hamburger meat or something? I think we did, didn't we? We cut you off from aluminum foil. The U.S. cut. Remember
I think we cut backwards.
Oh, did y'all cut us off aluminum foil?
Yeah, I think that's how it went.
Oh, you jerks! No wonder we cut you off on hamburger meat.
No more baked potatoes for you.
Really, man. Well, I don't bake mine; I boil mine. But so that's what it was. That's why you're getting crappy hamburger meat.
That's yeah. Oh, those were good hamburgers.
No, I know.
Dean's got a question here. It's a really good one. Sid, you seem in great health, and it's no secret in the wrestling industry that many have died young. What do you do or have you done to stay healthy? That's a lot of what we talk about.
Well, again, honestly, trying to get some knowledge on things like, I've been studying. And again, if I see something stupid on TV, on PBS, I like to believe most of the time they're right. But a lot of their things about longevity called the paradox of longevity of life, just suggest some things that we could do just with our diet. Again, that the people are coming off of blood pressure medicine, MS medicine, and all these other things, that most things are reversible through diet and health. And that's what I'm always have been health conscious my whole life. Always believe in doing the right things, even when I was doing the wrong things, do a lot of right things as well. And that sort of paid off. But again, just knowing what I've got a different goal in life now. I'm not trying to be 300 pounds of muscle anymore. My goal is to be healthy, fit, and to be able to do that, you have to be lean. You have to adjust your diet. You have to change your lifestyle. No, I can't, don't want to lift heavy anymore. Again, I just want to be able to, scoot across the floor as fast as I can, or again, just be just be normal person in life, but have a good look, good fitness in life, and be able to do things in life. This is what I said years ago, 40 years ago, when I first started talking about weightlifting. The thing about weightlifting was appealing to me, that I'd be able to do things in life that I want to do and I said this 30 years ago, gardening. I love to garden. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing my gardening. I'm doing my yard. I'm doing my fishing, um, things like that. So that's what we either really use it or we lose it. And when we start slowing down, it's just a perpetual motion of, to a halt. And if you don't, that's what I'm trying not to do. I remember my uncle saying a few years ago that he kneeled down to check the water meter and afraid he couldn't get back up. Well, I don't want to be that person. I want to get up from checking the water meter. And I suggest everyone would want to do the same. And believe us or not, one day, we're all going to be in the position either, knocking on old folks' door or one step from being on a walker or using a cane. And we want to try to prevent that. And we can start now, or we can wait to it and do it when it's too late.
Exactly. Chad came in here and said, no, he's right about milk, too much sugar. And that was the one thing I noticed too. I've switched from breakfast cereal to oatmeal, like you said.
Right.
Because I would always have Frosted Flakes in the morning. And I wasn't losing any weight. But the switch to oatmeal helped, and I think it was because of the sugar and probably because of the Frosted Flakes too, come to think of it.
Well, there's a lot of sugars there too, but oatmeal, man, is a great time-release carbohydrate. I think it's one of the few foods that really that do that, or time-release. It's the only food that the government allows to put on their product, on their box, that says fights heart disease, and what it does, it lowers your cholesterol. And so it's just a great way to start your day. A little honey from from a local honey person. I put a little bit of walnuts on mine now, and that's it. A little squirt of milk, and knock it down. And I'll tell you what, I crave that tab of butter that I put in there in the mornings too. Because I look forward to that. I really do. That little butter and that honey taste of the oatmeal.
I've stopped using it, but I used to always love black molasses in oatmeal.
Oh yeah.
I've stopped using it only because I want to check it out and find out exactly what kind of sugar content, what else bad it might have, other than just good taste.
Sure.
Lori mentioned, thank you, Sid, for all these tips. I agree on changing your lifestyle in small steps and finding what works for you. For me, it's been reading labels, limiting sugar, and eating supper by 6 p.m. every night.
Well, that right there, Lori, first of all, reading labels. I remember I helped these two little girls. They were twins. I want to say they were like 9 years old, and they were really terribly overweight. And they were as big around as they were tall. And within a short period of time, they had lost so much weight that their grandmother didn't recognize them. And what they did is that they read labels, and they saw how many calories. And because they were twins and they were so competitive, that they got down where they look at even like a granola, a healthy bar. They go, you know what? Sid says this is so many calories, but if I half that, that's extreme calorie counting. So their days, they would get their calories less than 800, 900 calories on their own. This was two, 9, 10-year-old kids did this. So label, that's again, I always tell people, counting calories is it. You can count your calories up to, say, 2,000. You can lose a little weight like that. 1,700 or less is extreme calorie counting. You're going to lose weight really fast like that. And if doing that, then you got to decide, where's your 1,700 calories at? You want, 1,700 calories of cabbage and white meat, or do you want it in a milkshake? You know what I mean? So that's where I prefer to take the white meat and vegetables.
I've had those moments where, you know what? Okay, I'm going to bypass the big supper. I'm going to have this little piece of chocolate and a salad, or, that's where I balanced the carbs. Yeah.
That's a perfect way of doing it. It's perfectly all, because you're still in your calories,
Mm-hmm. Frank Mullins chimed in here. Says, because of Sid, I was able to begin discussions with WCW shortly before they closed. Was never forgotten. Truly appreciated, man.
Appreciate. I mean, you're welcome, Frank.
That's cool. Let me see here. So Chad says, Sid, are you trying to avoid sugar, fat, or both?
Well, I'm always trying to, in the back of my mind, I'm always looking at carbohydrates, which are sugars. I'm looking at sugars, and I'm looking at my fat. Say, for instance, when I do my chicken, I always take the skin off to minimize the fat there and then pull my calories back, because I think a chicken quarter is 200 calories without the skin at 220 calories with the skin or something like that. So, you take the skin off, take the fat. And again, if I'm going to take in a fat, I'll take it to an avocado or something like that where you get a healthy fat, or and I'd put a slice of bacon in my vegetables once in a while. I know that sounds bad, but when you're having, say, just white meat, and say that slice of bacon goes through, say, 7, 8 servings of cabbage, you're only talking just a minuscule piece of bacon each time you eat something. So the way I look at that too is that if it's true about diet, is where eat white meat and vegetables like that, you can have a little fat, so that little bit of bacon is the fat I'm looking for. I just sort of hit and miss with avocados, but that's what I've got it in there for, like that. But again, you want to watch everything. Again, if that needle, your needle saying this, and every time you pull something this way, it'd be sugars, fats, sodium, whatever, water intake, or in my case, fruit juice. They'll pull that way. So anything you can put in that on the scale to help weigh it your side, do that. And don't stop at one thing. Use everything.
He mentioned too, I cut sugar. The milk cheat was using heavy whipping cream and watering it down to replace milk. It's fatty, but 0 sugar.
There you go. Now, see, Chad, that's the difference between you and me. I don't have the guts and the nerve to go that far. I'd rather cut back on my skim milk a little bit, where now I'm probably drinking a gallon of skim milk every 2 or 3 days, where when I was on my diet really strict, a gallon of milk was lasting me through the whole week, to where I was almost afraid to drink it, because I didn't know how, I don't like keeping stuff too long. So again, that's where I know I'm making mistakes, that I'm drinking milk. I'm doing everything way too much right now. But again, that's what you do when you're not dieting.
Andy just piped in too. He goes, I almost forgot. My mom told me to tell you both, Rob and Sid, thank you very much. And she sends her love. Sounds like she's doing.
Oh, good. Good, Andy.
Good. And then Never, he says, Rob gets crappy hamburger meat and no cornbread. And then he has a little crying face. Yeah, that's my life right now. Let me see here. Here is one from Andrew Clisette. Did you ever give any stiff power bombs, and did you regret doing it? Dangerous move to perform, especially given how the back of the neck lands.
I know I was one of the people that protected people with the power bomb, probably more so than anyone else, but there were so many times that I didn't. So I was probably guilty of both.
Well, and it's hard to tell, like you can execute it perfectly, but if the guy isn't going to fall right, that.
Well, too, this thing, I had different, when I knew a guy wasn't going to get high enough that, okay, just drive him through. And then sometimes, I mean, honestly, this is a hill biz deal that I've talked about a couple of weeks ago, last week, about how to get over the hills. That, that was my opportunity to do that. And if I could make that guy fold like an accordion, I was an opportunist, and that's what I did. And that's a hill biz deal. Eric, there goes something creative, hill biz.
Yep. Little Reset. Hey, Sid, you came to visit me in the hospital when I was a kid and I was dying of kidney failure. I just wanted to say thank you for that. I'll never forget your kindness to me when I was sick.
All right, man. Well, I'm glad that I was able to come by there, Little Reese.
I'm glad.
I'm glad you're doing. I'm glad you're doing better too, son.
Yeah. Dustin here says, ever take the plant-based nutrition certificate program with E. Cornell? It's marvelous.
I haven't. That is something too. I'm not a big believer in gimmick diets. I'm going to diet on my own. I'm going to be able to just follow what I think works, and that's good vegetables and good lean meats, and that usually works. And getting in your vegetables and things like that, I feel that's your better way of your nutrition. But when we are dieting, we need to probably supplement a little bit. And I probably will start taking a multivitamin and a little calcium. I have been taking my vitamin C again, but I probably will start taking the calcium, the C, D, and E, like Lori talked about, and with my multivitamin.
I'm not sure about Never on this one. I don't do raw eggs. Is powdered eggs a good substitute?
Yeah, you know what? I would guess so. I've had them occasionally, not by by desire, just I guess being a Shoney's buffet, having powdered eggs. But yeah, that would be I guess would be a great, another good way of getting your protein. I know people have a allergic reaction to eggs sometimes, but eggs, you know, are the purest form of protein known to man. It doesn't get any better than that. Nothing digests more quickly than that. Nothing sticks around your system uh, less than that. I mean, as soon as you eat it, your body uses it and it's gone. And that's what we want. But it's supposedly egg is the food of the gods.
I know I'm a big fan of him. Frank Mullins put in here, he was Izzy High if he was trying to figure it out.
Okay.
That was his gimmick name, Izzy High. I like that. That's
Yeah,
catchy.
I like that. Yeah.
Cheryl asks, what do you think about intermittent fasting?
You know, I I don't know if I'm intermittent sometimes, but I do, and I'm not telling anyone to do this, but sometimes I really push myself to you know, and I don't know if this is true, everyone, so don't hold me to this, but I've been told that when we're in that part of diet when we're really hungry and our stomach has got that, sensation a little bit of like hunger, that's when we're really burning body fat. That's the most important time. So what I've been doing in the mornings, not of late, but what I was doing in the mornings was I was getting up and doing my walk and my exercise here at the house before I ever ate. Just give myself longer periods without eating to know I was losing that weight, and I think it did help. But I, not knowing a whole lot about that deal about fasting, um, just be careful with that.
Yeah, I only worry because the machine needs energy.
Right, that's what I'd say. Again, I look for that when I'm really concentrating on losing weight. I look for that sensation of feeling hungry because I've been told by several people that that's a sign that your body's really burning body fat. Could be a sign you're burning lean muscle mass too. I'm not sure, but I know you're losing weight. So
I would almost think you take a meal and just have like bread with peanut butter,
right,
instead of a lunch.
right,
Not fasting, but reduced food intake.
right. But again, I don't suggest it, but I would say it probably works.
Andy here said only because of budget, but starting next week, I'm going to get back into grilling or baking chicken to get back into the swing of healthy eating. And then I'm limited to a ramen noodle diet just so I can eat this week. Well, budget plays a part in it.
It does, Andy. But listen to this now. Rob will tell you a lot of these meals that he could pull some of these up sometimes, and I can show them to you in the future. A lot of my meals, everyone, are within $1, and these meals consist of a leg and whole chicken quarter, a really good serving of cabbage, some type of pea or bean, and usually another vegetable or two vegetables in the what is it, Rob? A meat and two vegetables at least on my plates, and sometimes a potato. And most times those meals are like $1.75, always under $2. And if and what I'm going to do this as well when I'm eating to cut back my calories, I won't have a whole chicken quarter. I'll only have either the thigh or the leg. Now you're talking like $1. So you can. I don't know where you're from or where you're shopping at, but here in Walmart we can get a bag of chicken quarters for about $6, and you get 8 or 9 in there. And you're talking 70 cents a quarter. And then you got what you got in your vegetables. You got $1 now, so you're talking $1.70, probably less than that. You know what I mean? So you can eat healthy and eat good, and you can do it cheap. And that's something else that a friend of mine named David Scruggs, he wrote a couple of books on diet. It was real boring. It was about where all the carbohydrates, matched up at and which ones were the best and stuff like that. Um, but that's what he wanted to do too, is help people, take them shopping and show them how they can shop without spending too much money. Because how we lose money shopping for diet, we'll go in and go, okay, well, I'm gonna get a thing of bananas, and I'm gonna get a thing of grapes, I'm gonna get a thing of tomatoes, and I'm gonna get bag of chicken. I'm gonna get all this. Well, you got all these things, and you don't have a chance to eat them before they go bad. So that's why again I shop like I do. Is I just get the chicken, I get the one head of cabbage, I get the squash, or I get the peas, and that rice is something that you'll see on a healthy plate of mine, and it's cheap as well. So again, I got that, but then that's cooked, and all I got to do is go back to that. So I'm not wasting anything, and I eat that till it's gone. And then we see how to cycle foods. Where when I run out of my vegetables, I've got those 8, 9 chicken quarters. I usually have something left over. So then you'll see through my Instagram and where I post my meals, then you'll see where I go to. I'll take the chicken off the bone. I'll make my own chicken salad, and I'll use only just the chicken, egg, and a little mayonnaise, and that's it. A little mustard. No extra calories of bad things with pickles and stuff like that in it. And then so now I have that, and you'll see also on my plate a little cottage cheese or maybe an avocado, slice of tomato. But that'll probably, again, I'm cycling my food. But that again on that plate, you're talking, with the chicken salad, you're talking less than $1.50. So that you can stretch your food out to where you get good portions of good quality food and yet pretty reasonable.
Nathan just messaged, here you all are talking healthy, and my fat arse is eating a bag of chips.
Well, that's all right, Nathan. That's not for everyone.
That's true. And honestly, as long as you're budgeting stuff, like I think I've had 7 or 8 Doritos I just put as a little snack, and it's not high, but it takes away the edge of me wanting to pound away a bag.
Right.
Let's see. We got a couple more here. Chad mentioned in too, another hack, try to replace peanut butter with almond butter. Almonds are huge for heart health.
Yeah, I've heard that. This is the thing about me too. I'm a big peanut butter person, and I just refuse to, give up the one thing that I enjoy, and that's peanut butter on occasion.
Yeah.
I use peanut butter sandwich sometimes for my breakfast when I've got an early morning. I'm trying to get out the door real quick.
See, mine is peanut butter on hot stuff, either a hot piece of toast or a hot English muffin or something.
Oh yeah.
Because
I gotta keep everybody entertained.
I will entertain everybody for a second. I'm not sure with what, but I will keep everybody entertained. I know the one thing, because I am sadly, I am huge an impulse person. And yeah, there we go, Ron. Peanut butter for life. I'm very impulsive. So when I'm going through the store, I will buy stuff out of impulse, and then I'll get home and it's like, I don't even need this. So it'll sit up there until a day I suddenly have this craving I can't control. And that's why I do these little things like the little bag of chips, or I have Tupperware containers, and I'll get the big thing of ice cream and put it in these little containers. So Rondell, who doesn't love peanut butter, right? But I'll put it in these small containers about the size of a yogurt container, and I'll just fill my freezer up with those. So then it becomes tiring to go in and get one after another after another. So
Sorry, everybody. Sorry.
No, it's all good. We were just discussing, Rondell and I here. I love peanut butter.
Yeah. Now, peanut butter used to be for me like I'd have my breakfast, my oatmeal, egg whites, and as I was walking out the door, I'd take a piece of bread, peanut butter, and a shot of honey, and that would be that. I'd take that, eat that about halfway to the gym, and use that as a surge for energy.
Let me see here. Lori said, almond butter is great. I also buy a lot of frozen fruit and veggies since I live far from town. One of my favorite substitute is frozen cauliflower rice for regular rice. Cauliflower.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try cauliflower. I've got to start using that. I've been looking for a new vegetable versus the cabbage and the squash and broccoli. I just hadn't figured out how to do cauliflower, and that sort of gave me an idea right there. Thank you again, Lori.
I know I have never had almond butter, so I'm going to give it a try, but I think I'm still diehard peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm going to try it too.
Okay, let's get one more in here. Here's one from Ron I missed earlier. What are your thoughts on DDP yoga?
I used to make fun of it. It's still sort of funny, but no, I think yoga is okay. Of all the things I've watched, I think I really would add, and I used to do it a lot, and that's stretching. And that's sort of like yoga, but I believe stretching is going to be. It's really, and Rob knows this. This is a lady I watch on PBS. Her name's Miranda, and it's called Stretch something. But it is really, it's really a cool thing. And I'm not looking to be able to stand on my head like yoga, but I do want to be able to, stretch around, and have done some of these exercises this lady Miranda has shown or shows on her show on PBS in the mornings. It really has helped out a lot.
Well, and two, we were talking before about not worrying about what people think or see, because when we do our walk, I swear to God, people think I'm drunk in the morning with the stuff.
Right.
But it doesn't matter, because I'm doing it for me, not for them. And
that's me, and that's everybody would get a good laugh at me and Rob. We're doing our side shuffles, our carryovers, standing on one leg till we fall over. And of course, most of this is at nighttime or early morning when it's still dark. But that's what we're doing. We're not worried about what everybody's making fun of us. We're laughing. We're doing it, and I'm telling you something. By doing these little movements like we're talking about, everyone, these and what there are stability things for your hip joints and stuff like that, they work. And this is the same thing, like I said earlier about dieting. You can either do it now or you can do it later. You're going to be doing these kind of exercises one day. And it's going to be called rehab. And it's going to be forced upon you, and you're going to be upset about it. So start it now.
Yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it too. Last comment from Nathan. I'm 6'4", over 100 kilograms. I like my food and beer. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Nothing, not at all. But I hope one day, you could, 100 milligrams. I don't know what that is.
100 kilograms is 220 pounds.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. That's pretty good weight, Nathan.
Yeah. So there we go. That was a great episode. I liked, especially with the discussion of peanut butter. I'm going to try almond butter, though.
Try that. Then, too, everyone, for next show, let's all watch a little wrestling. Let's see what we're seeing. Let's get some output, or whatever about the two shows, what everybody's seeing, what they'd like to see, what they think they see is wrong, or they see anything that they could do better. All right?
That sounds like a plan. Thanks a ton, Sid.
Thank you, too, Rob. Good night, everyone.
You've been listening to the Vicious Circle Podcast. Your host, Sid Udi. Co-host, Rob Bellamy. Additional research by Pete Marsh. The Vicious Circle Podcast is produced by Two Cousin Road Trip Productions, a division of JX3 Media Productions. The intro music is Unleash the Giants by Cemetery Spawn, and the outro music is Digging Space by Mike Treblecock.